be back to normalcy.
Yeah. So why is Trump winning? I mean, the New York Times poll this week came out, and maybe this will change it with the State of the Union address, but Trump was beating him rather soundly.
In a recent episode of Real Time with Bill Maher, things took an unexpected turn when Maher posed a seemingly simple yet profound question to Robert De Niro. Why is Trump winning in the polls despite all the negative press?
The bottom line is, it's Biden versus Trump. We want to live in a world that we want to live in and enjoy living in, or live in a nightmare. Vote for Trump and you'll get the nightmare. Vote for Biden and we'll be back to normalcy.
This question, which might have seemed like a curveball to some, hit De Niro squarely on the nose, leaving him visibly flustered. The moment was a classic Maher move, pushing beyond surface-level discussions and digging into the heart of the issue.
But Trump was beating him rather soundly. It was quite a warning light, 48-43, also winning way more among women than he had before, winning outright Latinos. What do you attribute that to?
When Maher asked De Niro about Trump's polling numbers, he wasn't defending the former president. He was challenging the conventional Hollywood narrative. De Niro's response, or rather his lack thereof, was telling.
Where we couldn't believe that it happened. The guy is a total monster. And anybody, I don't understand it. I guess they get behind that kind of logic.
Instead of engaging with the question, De Niro defaulted to the typical Hollywood script, calling Trump a monster and expressing disbelief that anyone could support him. It was a missed opportunity to delve into the complex reasons behind Trump's appeal, something Maher was clearly trying to bring to the fore.
I don't know. I just don't want to feel the way I did, and many of us don't, after the election in 2016.
De Niro's reaction was almost painful to watch. He stumbled and stammered, clearly unprepared for such a straightforward yet crucial question. It's as if he couldn't fathom that regular people might have legitimate reasons for backing Trump.
They get behind that kind of logic. They want to fuck with people, screw them, because they're unhappy about something. He's such a mean, nasty, hateful person.
This disconnect was glaringly obvious when Maher mentioned the New York Times poll showing Trump leading Biden 49% to 43%. Instead of offering a well-thought-out answer, De Niro seemed to brush off the poll numbers as a fluke.
Never wanted to.
No.
You must have crossed.
He was an idiot. He was a clown. He was a clown in New York.
But as Maher pointed out, those numbers highlight a real and growing frustration among voters who feel ignored or belittled by the elites. He didn't let De Niro off the hook easily. He pressed on, emphasizing that the poll numbers weren't just a random anomaly.
He is a dangerous person. And we have to people realize, a lot of people, this audience, but the people who somehow think he's going to be the answer to their prayers, whatever those are.
Did you know
God
him
knows.
when as fellow New Yorkers?
Never wanted to know him.
Never wanted to?
No.
They reflected a significant portion of the electorate that feels disillusioned with the current political situation. This moment was a clear example of why Maher's show is so valuable. He challenges his guests, even those he might agree with politically, to think beyond their bubbles and engage with the broader societal issues at play.
He is a dangerous person.
What made this exchange so interesting was how it highlighted the broader issue of celebrities using their platforms to voice political opinions. While they have every right to share their views, the question remains, does it really work the way they think it does?
I'd never play him as an actor because I can't see any good in him. Nothing at all. Nothing redeemable in him.
De Niro's rant was full of personal insults, calling Trump names and dismissing his supporters without addressing the actual issues that drive them. This kind of rhetoric doesn't persuade. it alienates. Maher's question, however, cut through the noise and forced a moment of introspection, not just for De Niro, but for the viewers as well.
But it's just, he's a classic bully. If you had a schoolyard and he walked in and he had his bully friends around, the other people decide whether they want to oppose him or they want to let him just tell him what to do and own that, the schoolyard or the basketball court or whatever it is. He's got to be stopped.
He doesn't just regurgitate talking points. He seeks to understand the underlying issues that drive political behavior. This is a crucial distinction, especially in a media landscape often dominated by echo chambers and confirmation bias.
Whoever the people are who want to vote for him, and there look like intelligent people around there, somebody, for some reason, it can't be. It cannot be. If he wins the election, you won't be on the show anymore. He'll come looking for me. There'll be things that happen that none of us can imagine. That's what happens in that kind of a dictatorship, which is what he says.
De Niro's failure to engage with Maher's question exposed a major disconnect between Hollywood elites and the average voter. While De Niro resorted to name-calling and fear-mongering, Maher sought a deeper understanding of why people might support Trump. This difference in approach is significant. Maher's willingness to ask uncomfortable questions and explore unpopular opinions is what makes his show a must-watch for those interested in a more nuanced view of the political landscape.
Let's believe him. Take him at his word.
I did from the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, I said from the very beginning, this guy is never going to concede power, and he still hasn't.
No.
I mean, he still hasn't. He still admitted he lost the last election, and he advertises that he will go on. He says he's been cheated out of one term, so maybe we should get rid of a president only gets 2 terms thing. So
he's a sociopathic, psychopathic, malignant narcissist.
Maher's question also pointed to a broader issue: the role of fear-mongering in political discourse. De Niro painted a dystopian picture of what another Trump presidency might look like, using language designed to scare rather than inform. But Maher, ever the skeptic, didn't buy into the hysteria. He pushed for a more balanced discussion, emphasizing that while Trump's rhetoric might be controversial, it doesn't justify dismissing his supporters as misguided or evil. This approach is vital in a time when political discourse is increasingly polarized and divisive. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.